Hey everybody, I know it's been a minute on some of these channels, but I wanted to come on here and try out my new cell phone holder. It finally arrived it's supposed to be designed especially for my Cadillac XT4. So I was going to try it out. I ain't drove with it yet, so I don't know if it's going to be falling on the floor. Probably just use it for when I do videos because it's set up for everything else. But I want to come over here, and the thought for today is I want to speak to the crabs in the bucket. You know that crabs in the bucket mentality? I want to talk to all the crabs in the bucket. They say you never got to put a lid on a bucket of crabs. And that is so because you always going to have a crab that's trying to pull you down. You always going to have a crab that don't want you to get out before they do. You always going to have somebody, a crab, that is not going to allow you to succeed. They're always going to either want to hold you down or, their claws or whatever. They're going to clamp you and just keep clamping you till they break your feet or whatever. They'll mess you up trying to keep you from getting out of the bucket. Now, some of them don't even want to get out the bucket themselves, but they don't want you to get over on the other side and see what's on the other side. So, like I said, I want to talk to the crabs in a bucket. Pay attention to the ones that's around you. Pay attention to the ones that's oppressing you, holding you down. They're trying to keep you from getting out of the bucket. They're trying to keep you from succeeding. They're your enemies. They're not necessarily your friends. The ones that we call friends are the ones that's close to us. Those are the ones that can really do us some damage. Pay attention to how you're talking around the ones that's close to you, the ones we call our friends. Are they really being a friend? Are they acting friendly? Take inventory. Remember, I told y'all I'm a behavior analyst. I watch the way you move. I listen to the way you move before I even hear what you say. Because oftentimes, the way you move don't line up with what you say unless you're authentic or you're being genuine. So pay attention to the crabs in the bucket that's around you. Are they helping boost you out the bucket? Are they supporting you? 9 times out of 10, they're not. So much so sabotaged to where you ain't never got to put a lid on it. And if you happen to be one of those crabs that get to the top, I don't care what you got to do. Oftentimes, most of them just fall over the side. That's how they get out. Before somebody come and scoop them and put them back in there. But if you happen to make it to the brim, to the top of the bucket, lean over and fall on out. Because if you've made it that far, you can go a long way. Believe in yourself. Don't let nobody sit there and judge you and hold you down and oppress you and talk about you. And just because they're not getting out. And a lot of times it's people that are benefiting from you being in the bucket. They're benefiting from you being down, oppressed, depressed, because you're right alongside with them. Misery loves company. They don't believe in themselves, so they sure ain't going to believe in you and don't want you to believe in yourself to get out. By any means necessary, do what you got to do to fall out of that bucket. A lot of times, crabs don't walk out the bucket. Like I said, generally, they fall over the side. They happen to get enough leverage to fall out of the bucket. And yeah, they hit the ground and bump their head. but their shells are hard. They're resilient. Oftentimes, they maybe fall on their back or whatever. Sometimes they sitting there squirming, but at least they got out the bucket. You may be that one crab that falls out of the bucket and falls on your feet, lands on your feet, to where you may have a little pain in your legs. But once that subsides and goes away, you begin to walk on your journey. Success ain't easy, and I never said success wasn't going to be painful. You're going to be hurt by a lot of people just because you're trying to get up and get out and do something with your life. All this that I've got going on, I'm not saying it's not painful, because there are people coming at me simply because they mad they don't have it. So what am I supposed to do? Just sit there and woe is me and don't get it because they ain't got the belief or whatever, the desire or the passion to get it for themselves? No. It hurts when you finally and truly really see how people really feel about you. You ever want to know how people feel about you? Level up. And the ones that can't go with you, or the ones that think you better than or have arrived or got stank face, the ones that's against you, they'll come up to the top like the foam in the pot. Ever want to know what people really feel about you? Level up. That's all you got to do is level up. I got so much negative energy coming around me right now. And I always tell y'all the oil ran down Aaron's beard. So it's running on my children too. My children got so much because they leveling up. If you're not leveling up, look at what you connected to. Are they leveling up? If they're not, you need to connect to something else. Get you a different source. If your source is not edifying you or bettering you, go find you a new source. That's like putting an Android charger in an iPhone. Make it make sense. How is that going to benefit? How is that going to give you the power and the source that you need to do what you need to do if you're an iPhone? Think about it like that. Think about it outside the box. That's why they say it's lonely at the top. Because everybody can't get there. Everybody ain't going to want you there. You got to get comfortable being by yourself. Not saying you got to stay by yourself. Because every once in a while you're running into somebody that's on the same level as you. And then iron sharpens iron. No level is the level of your destination. You always can learn and grow and get better. So get used to being by yourself. Get comfortable walking by yourself. Have peace by yourself. That's just being by yourself. That don't mean you lonely. Get some goals and dreams and visions that you're working on. Passion and purpose. Those will keep you busy. It'll keep you from being lonely. Yeah, you'll have bouts of loneliness or whatever, but when you look back over your life and realize that those bouts of loneliness had you did whatever it is to take care of the loneliness, you wouldn't be as far as you are. And there are some of us that are dealing with bouts of loneliness, and we've succumbed to the desire just not to be lonely, and we ain't gone nowhere. We've oppressed. So talking to all the crabs in the bucket, even the ones that's pulling other people down. As you keep pulling somebody down, that's going to keep you down. Maybe you're trying to pull people down to use them as a stepping stool to get out yourself. But what you do to somebody else going to do to you. Karma. If you happen to get to the brim, whatever you got to do to get out, be willing to do it. Because on the other side is your breakthrough. Y'all be encouraged. Stay blessed today. And just pay attention to the crabs around you. Until the next one.